Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Meet Molly. Chapter 2, Hula Dancers. The exact morning dawned, all gold and blue and windy. Perfect Halloween weather, Molly thought as she woke up. At breakfast, Mrs. Guilford didn't say anything about turnips, but she made French toast, which was a sign all is forgiven. It was Thursday, and Molly's friends, Linda and Susan, were coming home with her after school. They were going to plan their Halloween costumes. They made a secret pact not to discuss their ideas until they got to Molly's house. Someone might copy us if they heard our idea, said Molly. Linda and Susan agreed. Besides, it was fun to have a secret pact. It was sort of like being soldiers and keeping battle plans away from enemy spies. As they walked home from school, they met Allison Hargay, who was one of their classmates. She asked, "What are you going to be for Halloween?" "We can't tell," said Molly. "It's a surprise." "Oh," said Allison. Linda said, "But it's great. It's a really great idea." Susan chimed in. "Yes, it's wonderful. We're going to have the best Halloween costumes ever." Allison looked impressed. Molly was a little worried. The girls hadn't agreed on what they were going to be. The mystery was making their costumes get a lot of attention. They were really going to have good costumes, or else everyone else would tease them. "Who are you going to be, Allison?" Molly asked. "Oh, probably an angel," said Allison. "My mother said I could wear her white satin dressing gown. She also made me some gold wings and a halo." Molly, Linda, and Susan were suddenly very quiet. Molly was jealous. She was so sorry she had even asked Allison. An angel, what a great idea. Allison was sure she looked wonderful with a halo over her golden hair. It was very hard to have Allison for a friend. Allison was an only child, and her parents were rich and gave her everything anyone could want. Allison didn't mean to brag about the things she had, but just by telling the truth, she managed to make everyone resent her. "My mother doesn't even have a dressing gown, much less a satin white one," said Linda. Glumly, "All she has is a brown terry cloth bathrobe. I know she'll never let me wear that. "Well," said Molly to Allison, "all I can tell you that our idea is much more original than an angel." "Yeah, I know, an angel is kind of boring," said Allison quickly. "It was my mother's idea. She made the wings and all." "We'll see you later, Allison," said Molly as she, Linda, and Susan hurried away. It made them uncomfortable when Allison started being so nice. When the girls got to Molly's house, they went into the kitchen for a snack. "Hello, Mrs. Guilford," they said together. Hello, girls," answered Mrs. Guilford. She was watering the parsley plant she started to grow on the kitchen windowsill. "There's some apples in the bowl on the table. Help yourselves, but take your apples outside, please. It's too nice a day to be cooped up in the house." "Thank you, Mrs. Guilford," the girls said as they went on the back steps in the sunshine. Ricky was out back too, shooting baskets at the hoop at the side of the garage. He was trying to set a world record for making the most baskets without missing. As the girls munched on their apples, Susan said, "Gee, I think an angel's a good idea." "Why don't we be angels too?" "Absolutely not," said Molly. "Do you want Allison to think we stole our idea?" "Allison wouldn't mind," said Susan. "I know," said Molly, "but I would mind. We can think of something just as good." "Like what?" said Linda. "Well," replied Molly slowly, as if she just thought about it for the first time. "How about Cinderella and the two stepsisters?" "Ooh," said Susan. "Cinderella." "Who gets to be Cinderella?" Linda asked immediately. "Well, we don't have to say that right away," said Molly. Let's wait and see who has the best ball dress. And that's one who will be Cinderella. The other two will be stepsisters." "I don't think it's fair," said Linda stated. "Who wants to be an ugly stepsister?" "You're all ugly stepsitters today," teased Ricky. "Get it?" "Cut it out, Ricky," said Molly. Ricky went back to shooting baskets. "I think it's a good idea," said Susan. "My sister Gloria just gave me an old prom dress of hers. It's sort of green with a big petticoat, shiny gold threads at the bottom of the skirt. Where all that?" "Sort of green," Ricky mocked. "Lima bean green is what you mean." "Ricky, go away," said Molly. But she was thinking Susan's dress sounded perfect for Cinderella, and two very big advantages over Molly's floaty pink dress with the white angora on top. Susan's dress really existed, and Susan had already had it. Being an ugly stepsister was not at all what Molly had in mind. "Wait a minute," she said. "Maybe Linda is right. Maybe it's not fair. Maybe we should all be exactly the same thing, like the Three Musketeers." "You'd be perfect as the Three Little Pigs," said Ricky. Or you could be the three bears. How about the three stooges? Or the three kings of Orient? And he began to sing in a loud, teasing voice. We three kings of Orient are, tried to smoke a rubber cigar. It was loaded, it exploded. Stop it! Yelled Molly. And suddenly, Ricky did stop. His face turned red. He bounced the basketball under his legs and then behind his back. He leaned casually against the garage and twirled the ball on the tip of one finger. The girls turned and see who it was he was showing off for. It wasn't Mrs. Guilford or even Mrs. McIntyre. Nobody was there except Jill and her new best friend, Dolores. They were walking up the driveway carrying the school books. Dolores was wearing a bright blue sweater, just the color of her eyes. She had a wide smile like a movie star, a toothpaste ad. She stepped and flashed her smile at Ricky. Hi, Rich, she said. Rich, snorted Molly. Lately, Ricky had been telling everybody to call him Rich because it sounded more like a soldier's name than Ricky did. Hi, Dolores, he squeaked in a very odd voice. He quickly jumped and sent the basketball swishing through the basket just as Dolores went through the door. Molly, Linda, Susan looked at each other and dissolved into giggles. It was crystal clear to them what Ricky's problem was. Ricky Rich had a crush on Dolores. The three girls started to chant, Ricky and Dolores, up in a tree, Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Ricky in it with a baby carriage. Ricky threw the basketball at the girls. They hopped up and out of the way, making loud, slurpy, kissing noises. Ricky has a crush, they chanted. Ricky loves Dolores. Hi, Dolores. Molly squeaked, imitating Ricky. She pretended to kiss the ball. Ew, Linda and Susan shrieked. Ricky jumped on his bike as he spat out the girls. He said, You'll be sorry. You'll pay for this. The girls giggled until they ran out of breath and their stomachs hurt. Finally, they got serious again. They went back to the question of what to be for Halloween. We could be the princesses of England, suggested Linda. There are only two of them, Elizabeth and Margaret Rose. One of us would have to be their mother, said Molly. How about nurses? Asked Susan. We could all wear capes. That's what we did last year, Linda and Molly said together. They considered being acrobats, three Alices in Wonderland, ice-gazing stars like Sonia Henney or the Three Blind Mice, but no one could get very excited about being a blind mouse. And anyway, Mrs. McIntyre overheard them. She said she actually did not have time to make a mouse costume for Molly. And besides, added Mrs. McIntyre, in a wartime, I don't think it's right to use good material for Halloween costumes. Molly, Linda, and Susan groaned. They knew Mrs. McIntyre was right. But I've got another idea, girls, said Mrs. McIntyre. I'll show you how to make grass skirts out of newspaper and crepe paper. They can be hula dancers. Well, replied Susan, my sister Gloria taught me how to make flowers out of crepe paper, just like they did for decorating prom. We could string them together and make flower necklaces and headdresses. I think my father has an old ukulele, said Linda. It doesn't have to be strings, but it'll look good. It's too bad it's so cold because I know my mother will make me wear socks and shoes and a sweater on top, said Susan. But at least the flower necklaces will hide most of the sweater. So the girls decided to be Hawaiian hula dancers for Halloween. Soon after that, the streetlights went on, which meant Linda and Susan had to go home. They agreed to meet back at Molly's house after school the next afternoon to make their costumes. Then they would all go trick-or-treating together. Afterwards, Linda and Susan would spend the night at Molly's so they could talk about how wonderful their Halloween had been. By the time she went to supper, Molly had completely forgotten Ricky's threat to make them all sorry. She was too busy practicing her hula. And that's the end of that chapter. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.